Good morning, students. I am CA Deepak Gupta.
I'm CA Karuna Bhansali, and welcome to all of you for Success at CA Exam Series 2, organized by Board of Studies. And this is the paper, heart of your, what we can say, final. And I hope all are prepared for the exam. So, Deepak sir.
Firstly, I will discuss with you how to tackle this paper. Actually, this paper is integration of main core papers as well as self-paced module set A and set B.
Deepak sir, first you proceed with the tips. I think better we provide the Zoom link to all the students. If any of the student is having any doubt, they can ask us. So Zoom link for the session is 813-514-55679. I'm repeating, it's 813-514-55679, and Deepak sir has already written on the screen also. So if any of the student want to join and have their clarify their doubts, how to tackle this paper, and after attending this mock test paper, I think you all are aware that this paper is like for other papers are of 3 hours, but this paper is for 4 hours, right? And it is comprising of all the papers, paper 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all 5 papers along with 2 self-paced module, that is set A and set B. So integrated business solution paper will comprise of all the 7 papers. So in this paper, you can have question of any of the subject, and this is open book examination. And in examination, after attending mock test paper, definitely you are aware that there will be 5 case studies. And unlike other subject where you are having 30% for MCQs and 70% for descriptive, in this paper you are having 40% MCQs and 60% for descriptive. And out of 5 case studies, you are required to attend any 4 case studies. So accordingly, you can see that for 25% means 10 marks MCQ paper, MCQ in each case study, and 15 marks will be for descriptive part, right? So after attending mock test paper, you might have analyzed where you are lacking and where you need to improvise, and in which subject. And when you are reading the case study carefully, what kind of issues you are facing. So we are here to guide you, tackle what kind of problem you are facing, and definitely we will cover mock test papers sir, also. So over to you, Deepak sir. You can give the tips.
Whenever you are going to start any case study in this particular paper, assume assume you are in the role of senior manager or finance director or auditor or CEO of a company. It depends on the facts and circumstances given in the case scenario or case study. To tackle this paper, first of all, you have to read instructions thoroughly.
So you
And
mean to say that students, before attending the paper, they should read all the instructions which are given on the paper? They
yes,
should.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And next step is scan the case study thoroughly so that you can understand the requirement of particular case study, what a particular case study says about which model you have to apply, whether is it relates to strategic decision, whether it relates to taxation or finance. But first of all, you have to scan all case studies thoroughly in your planning time.
Okay. So we will practice all these tips when you will be attending the questions in the mock test paper. So let's jot down the points. Yes, sir.
And after this scanning of case study, next step will be you have to do a thorough analysis of each case. When you are doing thorough analysis of case, you have to identify uh, the complexities involved in the problem, whether there are small parts or major parts, how you are going to manage. Okay, it means suppose a case study is based on Porter's five forces model, then you have to correlate entire case study with concerned steps. Okay, Porter five forces is related with scanning of competitive environment. Then you have to correlate all points. It means what I am trying to say you is requirement is very very important. Requirement को आपको करना ही है पहले स्टडी, और रिक्वायरमेंट को आपको लिंक करना होगा कि कौन सा बिजनेस मॉडल लग रहा है और केस स्टडी के किस स्पेसिफिक पार्ट में वो पूछा गया है, और सिमिलर कॉन्सेप्ट को आपको अप्लाई करना होगा सभी सब्जेक्ट्स के लिए. नेक्स्ट स्टेप इज you have to follow frameworks which I have given and plan your answer.
So I think you mean to say कि सबसे पहले जब स्टूडेंट्स ने केस स्टडी को पूरा स्कैन किया, इट मीन्स दे हैव रेड द केस स्टडी केयरफुली, गॉन थ्रू ईच एंड एवरी पॉइंट, एंड दे डिड थॉरो एनालिसिस दैट व्हिच आर द सब्जेक्ट्स इन्वॉल्वड इन दैट पर्टिकुलर case study. And after analyzing, after thorough analysis, what students are required to do, they need to understand the question's requirement, which subject it is relevant to, and they need to apply the framework for that particular question, or they need to apply the concepts, whatever conceptual knowledge, just like we are having in our other final level papers, application and analysis based question. You need to apply those relevant concepts, and accordingly you need to answer for that. But only thing is, since it is integrated business solution, therefore it is interrelated with other subjects. It can be of financial reporting, it can be of advanced financial management, or it can be of advanced auditing, assurance, professional ethics, direct tax, indirect tax, or self-paced module set A, that is law, and of course set B, that is strategic cost and performance management. Right, sir? So after applying concepts and framework, they need
now you can plan your answer, and you can first think your points, and you can write down on your answer sheet, and these points will be later help you in explaining in detail. And
we have received one query in chat. So students, after telling you how to tackle exam, we will definitely give you opportunity for unmuting yourself and you can ask your query, right? So, yeah.
Queries, Madam Sir, since this is open book exam, so can we take our handwritten notes in the exam hall also?
Yes, students, you can carry your study material, you can carry your notes, you can even carry Saransh booklet, or you can carry your handwritten notes also. So, since it is open book exam, so there is no restriction. Definitely you can carry it. Okay? Yeah.
Next point is you have to organize your answer logically. You have to go step by step and communicate clearly. You have to answer what is required. Avoid unnecessary solutions. And check whether is there any ethical issue is involved. If is there any ethical issue is involved, you have to explain accordingly and connect with relevant principles of subject. And here it is very important to management time skills during examination.
So I think they are very clear that for ethical issue based question, they need to read the question carefully. They need to identify the provision and how ethics is incorporated, and how, because ethics is ethics, to apply ethics is very, very important. So they need to consider what are the ethical issues involved. And I think These are the tips which you need to follow in other exam also. Like you need to plan your answer. You need to respond logically. There should not be any irrelevant answer. Okay, you need to write, you should not give general answer. Your answer should be specific. And here in this paper, you are having your study material and your notes, your books with you. So definitely application based question, we require you to write logical answer rather than giving general answer. And your communication should be clearly means what is the requirement of the question. When you have understood, then your answer should be comprising of that particular part only, and it should be reflecting clearly in your answer. Okay. Yes, sir.
Here, I want to give you an example for development of time management skill. For example, suppose a question says, if a question says to assess competitive environment, you have to apply Porter's five forces model. And suppose this question is of 12 marks. Then question arises, how much we have to write in that particular part. For that, we know for Porter five forces, there are 5 points. You can divide 12 marks into 5 points. It means 12 divided by 5, it will be around 2.4 something. Okay. It means you have to write at least 2 points for each part. Okay. Or for some part, you may write 3 points. It means you have to answer with 2 or 3 points for each part. But you have to give your answer for all points. Okay, because Potter's five forces will not be complete unless you write all 5 points. But for all 5 points, how much you have to write? You have to write at least 2 or 3 points, but you will come to know after dividing 12 marks into 5 parts, and then you can manage your time properly.
So Salesh is asking one query.
This query is, will you please guide how to utilize 15 minutes reading time in this paper? It is not possible to read whole question paper in 15 minutes and decide which question to attempt and which question to drop.
So 15-minute reading time is very, very important, students. Of course, 15 minutes is very less, but you can scan very fastly. If you have done mock test paper practice, or if you have done written practice, if you have solved the case studies which are given in the booklet or uploaded on website, and you have attended IBS, so your speed is definitely going to increase, because if you have done writing practice and if you have done reading practice, then your speed must have been improvised. So in 15 minutes duration, you can see what is the requirement of case study. So after analyzing that, you will be able to identify and understand what is the required part and which subject is relevant and in which you are feeling very confident. And definitely it is open book examination, so you can see, you can refer the books also. But in 15 minutes duration, after reading the requirement part of the question, what is the requirement as per the question, you can decide the order with which question you should start first and which question you should take later on, right? And in which of the case study or which of the subject your difficulty, your preparation level is little bit less, you can accordingly plan. It depends on your preparation level. And definitely if you have done mock test paper practice, then you will definitely be able to use that 15 minutes time very effectively. I hope, Salesh, your query is resolved. Still, if you have any doubt, you can write to us or you can unmute yourself and ask us. So this is what Deepak sir is going to cover only now, develop time management skill. So how to manage time duration for this 4-hour duration as well as for 15 minutes. Yes, sir.
Now, while submitting your answer sheet, you have to carefully review your solutions once again, uh, because review of a solution is very important. If possible, try to highlight important keyword or key points, because it becomes very easier to explain the concept when you highlight some particular lines
where you
etc.
want to draw attention of the copy checker. But definitely it does not mean that you are drawing flowchart or you are giving diagrammatic presentation or in table presentation. It should be in the form of either bullets, paragraph, or in the running matter. And after attending that part, if you are having sufficient time, then only you should give this kind of presentation in form of flowchart or diagrammatic. Otherwise, it should be properly drafted language, either in paragraph form or in bullets.
Now, utilize open book resources. You have to utilize the all available resources on our portal, whether suggested answers, study material, or mock test papers, or all resources. They are enough to practice this paper. What I say, this paper is very, very easy, but it depends on the preparation of your subjects, other subjects.
Yeah, because it is related to all the subject. So it is very, very important. And definitely when you are going to appear for this final, so till this time, you all have prepared all the subjects and you have practiced. I assume that you have practiced mock test paper also in examination condition. So you are able to manage how the stress level. And as I generally tell students that it is not that 100% paper will be you are knowing the 100% paper. There are certain questions, there are certain specific technical issues involved in those particular questions where you find difficulty. But then at that point of time, get instead of being panic, you need to maintain your confidence and motivation level, and you should start preparing so that you can attend the whole paper. And it's very easy to fetch very good marks in this paper, though it is related to all the subject, right? So I think Deepak sir has already told you that you need to read the instructions thoroughly, because instructions sometimes some important points are being covered. So before attending, you should be knowing what are the instructions for attending that particular paper. Then your first step, I am repeating that you need to scan the case study. Scan the case study means you need to read very carefully, right? So it should not be like generally some students send query to us that this answer is wrong. Then we need to tell them that in this question, not word is being used, and you are reading from the point of view which one is the correct. But in this question, it is being asked which is not correct. So you need to read the question very, very carefully. Then you need to conduct thorough analysis. Which are the subject involved? Which are the concepts involved? You need to apply those concepts. And then your answer should be in planned way with logical reasoning, and your answer should reflect what is the requirement of the question and what you are giving in the answer. If the question is based on ethical issues, because now ethics are inbuilt in all the subject, then you need to read that part and analyze that part also. Time management is very, very important and crucial. So you need to practice time management, including 15 minutes reading time. If you will refer mock test paper and you will identify, you need to read that paper in 15 minutes, you need to practice that how you will be planning. And after attending, you should have your time management in such a manner that you are having 15 minutes to 20 minutes for reviewing the answer, whether you have correctly attended or if any of the question is missed out. So those part also you need to take care. And then definitely how to use open book, because if you have not studied the study material or the books which you are carrying, if you have not gone through those books in depth, then you will not be able to understand that which question is pertaining to which chapter. So it is very, very important that your open book resources are also, you have done analysis of that also in depth. Yeah. I think Kumar is asking that specific section number.
Specific section number, rule number, and detailed calculations for direct and indirect taxes part needs to be provided, or just the final answer arrived.
Now to you are having open book, then also you are asking this kind of question at final level. So we definitely expect you to write the relevant section, standard or provisions, right? So it is very, very crucial and important. And now too, you are having open books. So when you are having your books, then also if you are finding difficulty, then to it means you need to practice a lot. So Kumar, it is very important that you should specify section number. However, subject specific faculty, Dimple ma'am and Shifali ma'am will guide you in depth. But as per my what I feel that at final level, students are required to have expert knowledge and advanced knowledge. So they should develop the habit to give section number or provision number while writing their answer. And this so particularly is open book, so will definitely require you to write because you are referring the study material only or your notes only where you have mentioned. So develop this habit to retain and remember the section number, standard name, standard number, or provision specifically you need to give. And for that calculation is also Anupam is writing. Is there any
Is there any study material for this subject or else only the case study is
Anupam,
so
this
far?
subject is integrated business solution, where we are having combination of all 5 papers other than this paper and 2 self-paced online module, right? So paper 1, FR study material you are having. For paper 2, AFM, they are having advanced financial management study material, advanced auditing assurance and professional ethics study materials also there, direct tax and indirect tax. So all 5. And other than these 5, 2 self-paced online module, for that also you are having study material. So for this paper, you need to develop this habit that how to refer those study material, how to read the question and how to interlink. And accordingly, you need to answer. So for this, there will not be any specific study material. Rather, instead of that study material, you need to, you will be practicing with the help of case study book only or the case studies which are covered in mock test paper. In fact, we were having our live virtual classes also on integrated business solution where sir and other faculties, BOS faculties have taken the case studies and how to attend those case studies. On that also session are available. If you have not gone through that, you can download the BOS mobile app and it's uploaded over there. So you can practice with the help of that. You want to add something?
Let us start with mock test paper.
Yeah, 1 second. Prashad, Rushali is saying, hello, sir, ma'am, can you please guide me that whether it is sufficient to take only the modules of ICAI for this paper? Rushali, it's up to you. If you are, if you have done the in-depth analysis, definitely modules are more than sufficient. You don't need any other thing rather than modules. But still, if you feel that you have made some notes and those notes are very effective and for your better understanding and for your revision purpose, those notes are very good. So you can carry those notes also. You can carry Saransh booklet. You can carry other authors' book. So it's up to you, right? And if you have studied well from the study material, then definitely it is more than sufficient. You don't need anything because finally it should be like you have done in-depth study. Means you should be aware that which topic is in which chapter and where it is given. Which chapter is in module 1, 2 or 3. So at that time, it will save your time. And then Prashad is asking any tips for those who are appearing only in group 2, how to plan for the subjects of group 1, which we are not thorough as of now. So Prashad, when you have opted for group 2, I think at that time you have planned that yes, in group 2, there is a paper, namely integrated business solution, right? So at that time, I think you might have taken a glance of study material of group 1 as well and self-paced online module as well. Because it was, since inception, it was, you all were aware that in group 2, paper 6 IBS is interlinked with all the subject. So when you have opted, definitely I feel that you might have visited all other study material also. You have taken glance of all the study material. Since it is open book exam and if you have practiced with the help of case study booklet, then you must be knowing that which part is covered in which chapter and how to cover that part. I hope your query is resolved. In case if it is not, then definitely we can have you can write again in the chat. So with this, one student is writing to start that case study. They want to understand case study 2 of mock test paper April. So I think better students, let's start with case study 2 because we have received a query. for the same. But before I proceed, I just want to repeat the Zoom link for this session. Zoom link is
8135145569.
So if any of the student want to join, they can use this Zoom link. It is written over here that 8135145569. So if you have any query or any guidance you want, either you can write to us or you can join through Zoom link. So we are proceeding with mock test paper. So in this mock test paper, we assume that you have definitely read the instructions carefully, that yes, in integrated business solution, it is for it is for 4 hours, that is 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. It's almost on the same pattern which we follow for examination, right? So in this, we are having, as I already told you, that we are having 5 case study, and each case study carry 25 marks, and you need to attend any 4 case study. So we are directly moving towards case study 2, which student is wanting to understand. So first, how to tackle that case study means, first we need to read the requirement of the question. So I think this case study, first MCQ is pertaining to direct tax subject. So I'm requesting to direct tax faculty that she joins and explains you.
Good morning, students. I am CA Dimple Goyal, your direct tax faculty, and I am here to guide you about the direct tax portion in the IBS Integrated Business Solution case study. So, firstly, by reading the case study, you have to first analyze the MCQs or the descriptive question for which subject it relates and for the which section, I would say, as far as DT and IDT is concerned, for which section or which concept the question is asking about. If we see in this case study of case study 2, firstly, we have to understand what the case study talks about, on which thing the case study is on. In this case, if we see, there's a partnership firm, Fresh Foods, of 3 friends, Ajay, Biren, and Chand. All the information related to who is working partner, what is their salary, depreciation, interest, other information related to the firm is already given. So what they want, they are just they are in the business of food trade and they just want to expand their business. So they are discussing the various aspects to how to they can just grow their business. All the conversation which the partners have, Chand, Ajay, then Chand. So all the discussion that is given in the case study. So you have to thoroughly read the case study, what the points are there, what they are discussion going to, and up to what level the discussion is going, and ultimately what they have decided and concluded in the case study. After that, you just move to the MCQ portion or the descriptive portion, that what are the requirements and on which subject it relates to. Like if you see the first MCQ, the first MCQ is regarding the which of the following is not true regarding Keyman insurance policy. So now if you see the points, any sum received under Keyman insurance policy is taxable in the hands of Fresh Food. Insurance paid under Keyman insurance policy pertaining to life of partners of Fresh Food is deductible expenditure. The third one is bonus received under Keyman insurance policy is taxable in the hands of Fresh Foods. So if you see directly, if you see, there is no section or nothing which you can identify for which subject it relates. But if you see in the first, second, and third point, it talks about taxability or deductible expenditure. So from that, you have to analyze it is related to a direct tax. So you have to identify the subject for which it relates. Now it is about the taxability and the expenditure which normally the person incurred in relation to the Keyman insurance policy. So if I go to the direct tax portion, you have to first understand what is Keyman insurance policy. Then you have to analyze the taxability regarding the expenditure of premium. Then you can answer this MCQ. So let's understand what is Keyman insurance policy. Keyman insurance policy is the insurance policy which is taken by a person on the life of another person. And the another person can be the employee of that person, or it can be any other person who is connected with the business of the first person. Okay, so it means insurance policy you are taking for the life of another person just to safeguard your business, because the person on which you are taking the insurance policy is the very important person, and you want to just safeguard your business. The person can be your employee, the person can be your partner, the person can be a CEO of the company, it can be any person who is impacting the company, impacting the business that from on the. Okay, so for that you take the Keyman insurance policy. If you see, as per section 1010D, it talks about of the Income Tax Act 1961. It talks about the exemption on the maturity amount of proceed received on the policies. So in that, the Keyman insurance policy meaning is already given in the explanation of section 1010D, where it defines that as an insurance policy taken by a person on the life of another person who is an employee of a first person, or it can be any other person who is related to the connected to the business of the first person. Okay, now there is a circular also issued by the CBDT, in which it talks about the expenditure, that whatever the expenditure the person is paying for the key insurance policy, that would be a deductible expenditure. Why is it so? Because you are taking the Keyman insurance policy for your business purpose. You are taking the insurance policy just to protect your business, just to safeguard your business, that in case of in case of the death of the demise of the Keyman person, your business will not get impact, or if it get impact, then you have the sufficient fund to just start your business again, because there may be a chances of demise of the Keyman person. So in that case, normally Keyman insurance policy is taken. Now after that, there was a court ruling of Punjab and High Court in Ramesh Steel, where it was decided by the High Court that the Keyman insurance policy can be taken by a firm for the partners, because partners are very essential for the firm. If they are working partner, they engaged in all the business related to the firm. If in the demise of any of the partner who is the key person, then business of the firm can be hampered. So in that case, if a firm takes a Keyman insurance policy for the partner of the firm, then for that, the firm is allowed to get the deduction for the premium which is paid for the key insurance policy pertaining to the life of the partner. And as per section 1010D, section 1010D provides the exemption related to the maturity proceed. It provides that the maturity proceed from the LIC, from the ULIP will be exempt subject to the condition, but it doesn't provide exemption in relation to the Keyman insurance policy. What does it mean? Any sum which you receive from the Keyman insurance policy on the maturity, including your bonus, that would be taxable and would not be exempt under section 1010D. So if we see all the provision in section 37 of Income Tax Act, then 1010D, then we need the explanation what is Keyman insurance policy, then there is a Punjab High Court ruling, then we have to see the CBDT circular, which is already given in the study material. So if you just analyze all this provision, then what will your conclusion? The conclusion is that a firm can take a Keyman insurance policy on the life of the partner, and the premium which is paid by the firm for that would be allowed as a business expenditure in the hands of firm. And any amount which is received by the firm for the Keyman insurance policy, that will be taxable in the hands of firm. The all crux of all these sections is this. So if we see the first point, any sum received under Keyman insurance policy is taxable in the hands of fresh foods. Yes, it is taxable in the hands of fresh food. The insurance which is paid under Keyman insurance policy pertaining to the life of partners a deductible expenditure. Yes, bonus which is received, it is taxable in the hands of fresh foods. So yeah, all the three is right. The any sum including the bonus is taxable in the hands of fresh foods. The insurance which is paid by the firm is a deductible expenditure. So all the statements are true. So we have to proceed with the MCQ in this regard. We have to see the subject for which it relates, what are the sections that are applicable in that subject, and accordingly, by analyzing and applying that provision of the respective subject, we have to answer accordingly in the integrated business solution. So, student, if you have any query for that, otherwise in the next MCQ, which is related to audit, Karuna ma'am will explain you regarding the audit provision and what the MCQ talks about in relation to the audit aspect.
So I hope MCQ 1 is clear to all and MCQ 2 is pertaining to auditing subject, right? So MCQ 2, Fresh Food has approached IndiBank Limited for a term loan of rupees 5 crore. For this, they need to submit prospective financial statement. So Fresh Food has approached CA Anil for examination of the prospective financial statement. So you need to understand now, this is not audit. It is examination of the prospective financial statement. So it means no specific auditing standard is applicable. Here, what is applicable is SAE, right? That it has prepared. So which of the following statement is not true regarding examination of prospective financial statements by CA Anil? So since it is not audit, it is examination of prospective financial statements. So assurance services are given. So this SAE will be applicable, which is given in your study material, right? So what is being asked, as I told you, that following statement is not true. So we need to check that while examining prospective financial statement, which statement is not true. So we need to emphasize on the word not true. Okay. So we need to check which one is not true. It is pertaining to this para, where Mr. Biren is saying catering to the health conscious customer is not a novel idea. Many have tried it out before and failed. Investment in kitchen infrastructure, redoing ambience and decor to match the product offering would cost us at least 5 crore as initial investment, and we need to read. So I'm not reading the whole because I'm assuming that you have read the case. Okay, so now on the basis of SAE, we need to solve that which one is not true according to that standard on assurance engagement. That is, CA Anil need not be the statutory auditor of Fresh Food to accept the engagement to examine the prospective financial statement. So if we read this statement carefully, that CA Anil is not statutory auditor of Fresh Food, so he can rather he is not statutory auditor, then also he can accept the engagement to examine the prospective financial statements. So this statement is true. So when we will be analyzing the answer that which statement is not true, this will not comprise the it will not be considered for the marking the answer, because it is not at all essential for examination of prospective financial statement. CA Anil should be statutory auditor only. So this statement is true that CA Anil need not be statutory auditor of Fresh Food to accept the engagement to examine the prospective financial statement. Okay. Then in 2, CA Anil can express an opinion on whether the result shown in the prospective financial information can be achieved or not. Can you tell me? I am waiting for your answer. You need to tell me that whether CA Anil can express the opinion. CA Anil is not statutory auditor, and he is here only for examination of prospective financial statement. Do he need to express his opinion? Tell me. I am waiting for your answer. Yes, Salish, you are right. It is false that CA Anil cannot express an opinion. So, when we have to answer that which of the following statement is not true, we will consider this one, that in which of the option 2 is given will be okay. So, in if we analyze in A, B, C, D option, only A and B are comprising of, only B is comprising of 2. So others are already being eliminated. But then CA can vouch for the accuracy of projection while examining the prospective financial statement? No. How CA can vouch? So CA cannot vouch for the accuracy of projection while examining the projection of prospective financial statement. So this is also not true because he cannot vouch for accuracy. So answer, definitely when I told you that wherever 2 is coming is correct answer, and in this, see, in B we are having option 2 and 3. So this is correct. And but when we are analyzing all the 4 statements, we need to read the carefully. So in statement 4, it is given CA Anil should consider the source of information considered by the partners for the purpose of preparing prospective financial statement, their adequacy, reliability of underlying data, including data derived from third party, such as industry statistics, to support the assumption. Now you see what is the requirement of the question. Requirement of the question is कि fresh fruit has approached Indie Bank Limited for term loan, right? And उसके लिए उनको क्या करना है? Prospective financial statement submit करना है, right? So for submission of prospective financial statement, what they require? They want C. Anil to examine the prospective financial statement which are being prepared before submitting to bank. Now, what C. Anil is doing? C. Anil is examining prospective financial statement. So it is not at all essential that he should be statutory auditor because his scope of work is to examine the prospective financial statement as per SAE, right? He cannot express opinion. He cannot vouch for accuracy. Vouch for accuracy is definitely not allowed, right? You are right, Salish. That he cannot vouch for accuracy of projections because it will be considered for professional misconduct as ethics also. Then fourth one, definitely when he will be examining, he need to consider the source of information because for a prospective financial statement, what are the source of information considered? They need to check. Then whether that source of information and whatever is being prepared is adequate, reliable, relevant, right? And if we have derived the data from third party, then also we need to check whether the assumptions are correct. So definitely fourth one is true, first one is true, but second and third is not true with perspective to examination of prospective financial statement. So correct answer will be option B, that is second and third. So with this, we have completed MCQ number 2, right? If you have any doubt for this MCQ, you can write to it. Yes, Munish, you are right in your answer, and Salish has also given correct answer. And next MCQ is pertaining to strategic cost and performance management, that is self-paced online module. So over to you, Deepak sir.
This MCQ is relating to pricing decision. Which of the following statement won't be true as regards product pricing for individual food items? First option, they have given standard costing techniques may be used to compute the cost of individual food items. Yes, standard costing technique is very useful for computation of product cost because standards are predetermined, then actual are compared at regular intervals. Here, it is very important to note that standard costing also involves planning and operational variances. In food industry, there is a huge importance of planning and operational variances. Sometimes prices are beyond our control. Okay, when prices are beyond our control, specifically in case of material, raw material, then we have to segregate planning impact from the standards. That's why for product pricing, for a pricing of a product, standard costing is very, very useful. Okay. Therefore, point option A is pricing can be done through standard costing. Now, target costing. Second is target costing. Target costing techniques, it has given target costing techniques may be used for managing profitability of food items having popular close substitutes that are offered by competitors. Yes, yes. In target costing, how we determine target cost? To determine target cost, we have to first consider competitive price which we are going to follow from industry, competitor to competitor. Okay, that from that competitive price, I have to deduct my desired margin to get target cost. Okay, target costing is equally applicable here because it directly relates to market price. Okay, here it is very important to understand which is offered by the competitors. Now, next is product pricing. Product pricing to be used to determine expected revenue for yearly budgetary planning, which can be determined based on relevant costing techniques. Can I determine my price through relevant costing techniques? Surely, yes. I can also determine my price by using short-term decision making of relevant costing. But here it is also written that product pricing is to be used to determine expected revenue for yearly budgetary planning. Okay. Since it has been written here, we are doing pricing for yearly budgetary planning also. That's why this point is incorrect. Relevant costing, pricing through relevant costing is possible, but only for short term, not for long term or for budgetary purpose. Next is if the price quality perception or unique value perception for certain food items are high, customers will be less price sensitive for those items. Sure. If the products having high quality perception, okay, then the customer will be less sensitive for the price. Accordingly, this option is correct. It means all these three techniques for this MCQ, standard costing, target costing, and pricing based on value perception is applicable here. It means only product pricing used by relevant costing technique is not applicable for this particular MCQ, and your answer will be only C. Next MCQ is which of the following will not be value added activity? Okay. First option is inspection of food items on a regular weekly basis to ensure quality standard meet. Is inspection of food items. Inspection of food items is an essential activity, but it does not create value for the customer. Okay. Second, using Kaizen costing methodologies to reduce the turnaround time in delivering the order to the customer. We are going to implement Kaizen costing methodologies to reduce turnaround time. Turnaround time means we are taking more time than expected, and we are reducing the same time via using Kaizen costing technique. It means Kaizen costing means continuous regular improvement. We are doing regular improvement to achieve our targets. Here we are going to improve our turnaround time. We are going to reduce our turnaround time. It means this is our value added activity. Why? Because turnaround time will help customers to get food at desired time. It will increase customers' satisfaction. Therefore, this point number 2 is my value added activity. Now, redoing the food items, if I am going to redo food work, then it will not create any impact on customer. That's why again it is non-value added activity. Third is wait time of batch of food item for baking process, as the ovens in the kitchen are occupied in baking other batches of food items. Wait time is again non-value added activity because it has nothing to do with customers. That's why only my value added activity is using Kaizen methodologies to reduce turnaround time. Therefore, my correct answer will be A. Next MCQ. Next MCQ is the partners have identified certain critical factors for fresh foods like tracking menu, offering that maximize customer satisfaction, customer service related parameters like complaints, customer response time, etc. Which of the following is true about critical success factor? First, these factors contribute towards reducing cost. Second, these factors are fundamental to strategic success. Third, these factors need to be only financial factors. Fourth, these factors concentrate on achieving short-term goals. Now, D option says these factors concentrate on achieving short-term goals. It is incorrect because critical success factors are linked with long-term success of a company. C says these factors need to be only financial factors. No. CSF also involves non-financial factors. In this question, this question relates to building block model, and building block model has 3 components: dimensions, standards, and rewards. Dimensions has 6 points, and all these 6 points are critical success factor for an organization. These factors are financial performance, competitiveness, quality, flexibility, innovation, resource utilization. All these factors are critical to success of a business. Okay. Therefore, option C is also incorrect. These factors are fundamental to strategic success. Yes, it is very true. Therefore, this point is correct. But why? Why it is true? Because first we determine an organization's mission, vision, objectives. Critical success factors are derived from organization's key objectives, which we have to achieve, which are critical, and subsequently KPIs are determined based on that. Okay, and these factors contribute toward reducing cost. No, it is not correct, because instead of reducing cost, they increase the cost. Okay. Now we will move towards case study.
No, we will just let
Okay.
give a brief about the descriptive question.
Okay.
Then we will move to the next case study 3. So case study, first descriptive question is regarding your book profit of the partnership firm, Fresh Fruit, and the second part talks about the deduction of salary which is paid to the partners. So for that, we have to just move to the facts of the case study. What all the information is given related to the computation of book profit or salary. So students, in the MCQ portion or the descriptive question, whatever it is, you have to just find out what all are the necessary information given in the facts of the case study. You have to just move to the case to just look for the relevant information. If you see in the case study, in the first paragraph, the information which is related to the salary or which is required for the computation of salary allowed as per section 40B of the Income Tax Act, that is given here. What it says, there are 3 partners, Ajay, Biren and Chand. Ajay and Biren are working partners. So it is very important to note down that they both are working partners while Chand is a non-working partner. Why it is necessary? Because as per section 40B of the Income Tax Act, the remuneration which is allowed as per income tax, it is only to a working partner. It means if the salary is payable by the partnership deed to the non-working partner, it is not allowed under Income Tax Act for deduction purpose. For previous year 2023-24, the net profit which is reported by the firm is 30 lakh and which is given before the following deduction. Before what? Before these 3 deductions. First deduction is related to the salary. Salary of 50,000 each per month payable to Ajay and Viren. Salary of 10,000 per month payable to Chand. We have already seen that salary to Chand will not be allowed as per Income Tax Act. This payment has been authorized by the partnership deed. It is necessary because salary as per income tax would be allowed only and only if that is authorized by the partnership deed. Depreciation on plant and machinery under section 32 is given of 5 lakh and interest on capital at 15% per annum on the capital of Ajay, Biren and Chand. The capital on which interest is to be computed is for Ajay it's 10 lakh, Biren 10 lakh and Chand 50 lakh. So what was the first requirement of the question? That you need to compute the book profit for the purpose of calculating salary. So you have to go refer the section 40B of the Income Tax Act, that how to compute the book profit. What is book profit there? Book profit as per income tax says, the book profit which you compute for the purpose of profit and gains for the business of profession, you have to compute that before allowing the deduction for remuneration. It means you have to compute the book profit as per the profit which you have computed for the purpose of profit and gains of business or profession. It means as per your chapter 4. It means you are not allowed to reduce what? You are not allowed to set off your losses. You are not allowed to provide any deduction, all these things, because while computing your PGBP income, all these things are not allowed, because these things are allowed. Set off is allowed under section 72. Deductions are allowed under section 80C and your chapter 6A deduction, but you have to compute PGBP income as per chapter 4. So, and before allowing this deduction for remuneration, it means what? Your depreciation is allowed from this profit, net profit of 3 lakh to compute book profit for the purpose of salary computation. Yes, Ayushi, yes, it is allowed because it is as per section 32. It means your net profit is, if I'll say 30 lakh here, then you have to reduce depreciation under section 32 of rupees 5 lakh. Okay. Your salary, which is given 50,000, which is payable to Ajay Biren and salary to Chand. Whether it is, I have to do something for that, I have to reduce it, or I have to add back this salary. No, yes, Ayushi, it is not required because, why? Because net profit is given before the deduction. If it is given after providing these deduction, we have to do what? We have to add back the remuneration. But here, because the net profit is before these deductions, we don't require to do anything for the salary. Depreciation we have already done. Now about the interest on capital. Interest on capital is given at the rate of 15%. So tell me, student, as per income tax, maximum interest on capital, how much interest on capital is allowed as per income tax to the partners? Yes, Shailesh, 12%. Very good. And to whom? To all the partners, or there is any restriction to the working partner or non-working partner? Yes, Ayushi, it is allowed at 12%. Very good. It is allowed to all partners. So you have to see that for the purpose of interest on capital, there is no restriction regarding, there is no bar on being working partner or a non-working partner. But while for the remuneration is allowed as per income tax only and only to working partners. So interest at the rate 12% is allowed to all the three partners, Ajay, Viren and Chand. So what is their capital amount? 70 lakh. Interest is allowed at the rate 12%. So it means total interest of 8,40,000 is allowed. Why we are computing all these things? Because for the purpose of book profit. So, okay, Shailesh, so I'm just not looking for the answer. You are telling the book profit is 16,60,000. Okay, so what was the first requirement of the question? Calculate book profit. So we have done the calculation, it's 16,60,000. Student, be very careful because in the MCQ, you are not required to give any reasoning. There is no negative mark, but for the descriptive, you have to present your answer very well. For the descriptive part, you have to mention your section number, you have to do the computation, you have to write the provision, you have to write all these things as you do for your main core paper, paper 4, direct tax laws and international taxation. So there is no change while answering the question. It is just your integrated business solution comprises of all your paper, that how much all preparation you have done for all the other papers. But regarding the writing, the presentation of the paper, that would be the same as for your core paper. So what was the next requirement of the question? What is allowable deduction of salary? We have computed the book profit. Now student, tell me what is the limit under section 40B for the remuneration, which for the payment of salary to working partners. Tell me the limit, students. Yes, Prashad, good, very good. It's 12% to all the partners for interest on capital. Now I'm just asking, what are the limit for allowability of salary to working partners as per section 40B of the Income Tax Act? The whole salary which the firm is paying to the working partners, is it allowed, or there is some limit? Yes, Ayushi. Ayushi has replied for the first 3 lakh. higher of 90% or 1,50,000. Or for remaining book profit, it is 60%. Yes, Arushi, you are very much right. For the book profit, for the first 3 lakh rupees of your book profit, the higher is 90% of rupees 1,50,000, and for the remaining amount of book profit, 60% of the book profit is allowed as salary. So if we see as per section 40B, in this case, our book profit is 16,60,000. So for the first 3 lakh, 90% of 3 lakh is what? 2,70,000. So 2,70,000 or rupees 1,50,000, whichever is higher, that is allowed. It means 2,70,000. And for the remaining book profit means 13,60,000. On this remaining book profit, 60% is allowed as remuneration. So what the 60% comes here, student? It's 10,86,000. So the total salary which is allowed under section 40B to all the working partners is 13 lakh. Okay, Shailesh is telling it's total. Okay. So total, because I am not calculating, Shailesh, I am just for the calculation, I am believing whatever you are doing, that calculation is right. I am talking about the provision. For the calculation purpose, you all are here and you are chartered accountant. So for going to be chartered accountant. So for the calculation, don't do a mistake, because in the examination, if you do the calculation mistake, your whole computation will go wrong. So very, very, very careful for the computation part. So its total remuneration which is allowed as per income tax is 10,86,000. But student, your answer will not end here, because you have to see how much firm is paying to the partners, and you have to compare the lower portion, because 40B provides the maximum remuneration which a firm can pay. If the firm is paying less than that amount, then that amount will be allowed as deduction. So it is a maximum remuneration which is allowed to working partners. What is 10 lakh, which is 10,86,000. Now I am just again going back to the case study. Salary which is paid to Chand, that would not be allowed at all, because it is paid to a non-working partner. So that 10,000 is not allowed. Okay. 50,000 per month. So it comes to 7,20,000. 7,20,000 they are paying to Ajay and Biren, who are working partners, but the maximum allowed was 10,86,000. So how much salary would be allowed? 7,20,000. However, the provision provides for a higher remuneration of 10,86,000, but in this case, since the firm is paying only 7,20,000 to both the working partners, the salary which would be allowed as per income tax is what the firm is paying, that is 7,20,000. Now we just look out to the answer, because it is very necessary to see the presentation part, how to present your answer for the descriptive portion. You have to write the provision as per section 40B, because since it's an open book examination, you have your study material, your Bare Act, your rules. So it is advised to mention the section number. If you have the papers or you have the material in which section number is not here, or you don't remember the section number, so don't write the wrong section number. So remuneration paid to non-working partner, whether in any form, it's not allowed. And so 10,000 paid, that is 1,20,000 per annum, to non-working partner Chand is not allowed as a deduction. In the descriptive, you have to provide the reasoning, you have to provide the explanation for each and every adjustment. Ajay and Biren, since they are working partners and salary is paid 50,000 per month, so total Just a second, student. I just calculation में I think 1 second. It would be 12 lakh here. Okay. 12 lakh. So allowed will be 10 lakh 86,000, not the 12 lakh. So the salary which is payable to working partners is 12 lakh. 50,000 into 12 into 2. It will come to 12 lakh. I just wrongly computed as 7 lakh 20,000, but it will come to 12 lakh. And which is the maximum salary which is allowed as per section 40B is that you already told all of you that on first 3 lakh, it will be 1 lakh 50,000 or 90%, whichever is more, or in the balance book profit at 60%. And we have computed it also 10 lakh 86,000. So how much salary would be allowed to Ajay and Bain? It's 12 lakh, because since it is allowed will be 10 lakh 86,000, because the salary which is payable to the working partners is higher what is prescribed under the Income Tax Act. But suppose if it comes to 7 lakh 20,000, as I wrongly calculated earlier, if it is come to 7 lakh 20,000, then you have to provide 7 lakh 20,000. In this, student, there is one thing also, that while calculating the salary which is firm is actually paying, don't include the salary which is paying to the non-working partner. You have to compare, because this salary which is allowed under Income Tax Act, it is to a working partner. So when you have to compare what is actually paid and what is allowed as per section 40B, the base should be the same. Since it is allowed to only a working partner, you have to see the salary which is actually paid to the working partner. You have to ignore about the salary which is payable to a non-working partner. You don't need to consider that amount at all. In this case, since it is they are paying high, firm is paying higher, 10 lakh 86,000 will be allowed. And if it is less than the 10 lakh 86,000, then that lower portion would be allowed under section 40B of the Income Tax Act. So this is the question which pertains to your direct tax in the case study. There is one more descriptive question in the case study which is related to your set B. So for that, sir will guide you how to present the answer and what are the all key points you have to see in the case study to answer this descriptive question.
Students, this part is based on building block model. Now, before starting this building block model solution, I will discuss with you about building block model. Okay. Building block model. Building block model is part of performance management. First, we have to understand what is performance management. Okay. First of all, we have to analyze our internal environment, external environment. After analyzing our internal strength, weakness, external environment, we have to identify options. What are our options to grow a business? When I have already identified my options, then next step is to evaluate my strategies or options. After evaluating options, my next step is to implement strategies. Okay. When I implement strategies, then I have to evaluate my performance, and performance can be evaluated by financial and non-financial performance indicators. Financial indicators are ROI, RI, EVA, NPV, etc. Non-financial indicator are balance sheet scorecard, Fisher Moon model, performance pyramid, triple bottom line, etc. This building block model is part of performance. This building block model is part of performance management. It means it is going to help you to evaluation of a performance of a business. Okay. Now, what this model says? This model is divided into three parts. First part is my dimension. Second part is my standards. And third part is my rewards. These dimensions are my critical success factor, which is very important to run business. Okay. Now I will correlate all these factors one by one with your solution. Okay. These dimensions are financial performance, competitiveness, quality, innovation, flexibility, resource utilization. Now, see, this is my solution, and this is my first dimension. This is financial performance. Okay. Question discussed about return on investment. See this. After this, in case study, somewhere case study also says about loan. Partner wants to take loan. If they want to take loan, it means they don't want to change their capital structure. Accordingly, this will also cover in my financial performance. Okay. This part also covers some discussion about pressure due to inflationary trends. Okay. After this, my next dimension is competitive performance, and competitive performance will cover about type of market like niche market, and how we are going to face our competition. In this case, company is going to provide healthier food and vegetarian and vegan diet. That's why competitive performance relates to your competitive position. Okay. After this, next dimension is quality. Okay. For quality, they have proper quality checks and external certification from government food inspector, etc. Okay. For innovation, they have tried to innovate by hiring chefs, and they divided food in various categories. Regarding flexibility covers, for example, if there is a shortage in raw material, labor, etc., it means your supply chain should be dynamic. Okay. That's why this part deals with flexibility in operations or dynamic supply chain. And as they have already mentioned in the case scenario, their supply chain is already dynamic because they have handled their supply chain in a good manner during COVID period. Okay. After this, resource utilization relates to your floor management, or it also includes raw material requirement, etc. Okay, here you can reduce your time by properly utilizing your infrastructure. Then standards standards are benchmark or targets to it's a performance metric. Okay, it covers 3 point: ownership or achievability and equity. Okay, for ownership, they have defined organization structure. Okay, and after this should be related with rewards. Rewards include compensation package, facilities, etc. Now, friends, we will move to next case study.
Okay, welcome friends. I see Ashish Gupta welcomes you all. Now, this case study number 3. In a case study number 3, basically, of course, many other topics are covered, but now since till discussion, my paper of AFM not covered, I am just taking you to the case study number 3 because it is their first MCQs are starting with the AFM paper. Now, students, so far as the relevance of the paper of AFM is in the IBS is concerned, of course, my experience is that overall lesser number of questions are being asked. But however, since lifeblood of any organization is money, because it is always said the business start with the money and end with the money. So that's why this topic is equally important and don't ignore it. Now, when we talk about the AFM, of course, AFM it is an advanced financial management because see, when we talk about AFM basically an advanced version of financial management because in financial management normally we covers basically the cost of capital or basic capital structures are there, but in AFM normally strategic type of decisions are covered. And of course, when we talk about the strategic decisions are covered, the mainly one of the very important strategic decision comes into our mind is merger and acquisition decision. Because when we talk about the merger and acquisition, it is strategic in the sense that it leads to synergy benefit. It leads to economies of the scale because once you gain the economy of the scale, of course, your profit is going to higher. Once your profits are higher, your shares are your prices of your company share are rising up in the market. So of course you are performing well. You are performing. You become a you become a good in the your image improves in the society at all. And of course it also helps you to capture the market share. Merger acquisition also important from strategic point of view because it helps you to capture the market share. Now, when we talk about this case study number 3, here in this case also, there is as a strategic move. I'm just coming to the case study. Now, in a case study number 3, he has given like something, sorry, I think it is a case study, sorry, one paper, there is a paper 2.
Study portion.
Yeah, okay, sorry. Okay. Now, in the case study 3, here there is a talk about the company establishment of a company that is established in 2003, RPL, based in Tirupur, Tamil Nadu, has established a freehold of the itself in prominent manufacture, wholesale, export of high quality t-shirt recognized as a prestigious export house. RPL take pride in the brand RK known as commitment to style, comfort, and ethical manufacturing practices. Okay, RPL boost of a state of art manufacturing. So there are some facts have been given. Now I'm coming to one or 2 points very important to which our case first MCQ relate. It relates to para number 3. In this para number 3, it clearly says RPL is analyzing a strategic move. So here you can see whenever we talk about the merger acquisition, it becomes a strategic move. The potential acquisition of JML through a merger. This decision driven by the potential of significant synergy benefit that could be propel the RPL's growth and its market position. That's what I'm saying. Now, when we talk about the synergy, of course, can be multifaceted. Firstly, the combining the manufacturing capabilities that could lead to economics of the scale and sharing the expertise resources because generally what happens, number of managerial persons are reduced. Okay, and optimize the production process, potentially reducing the cost and increasing the overall efficiency. Additionally, a large production capacity could allow RPL to cater to the broader range of the customer demand and potentially enter into the new market. So it also open a gateway for the new market. So that's why now we talk about when we talk about the merger acquisitions. Of course, merger acquisition means the shareholders of a company that is merged with another company will become the shareholder in the new company, or the company that is that is taking over. So now when has been decided, so they have to be some ratio based. Okay, so this data is always required. That is like here the company a company RPL that will take the JML. The post tax earning has been given to us. Number of equity already shares has been holding outstanding or have been given to us, and of course the market price has been given to us. Now it is proposed that a certain change in the shareholding of JML would be made. Case consolidation of this as per discussion between the management of the two company. Okay, now here some other issues are there, but we so far AFM is concerned, there are two MCQs are here, and another one, there is another para 5 there on which another MCQ is based. So first I am taking first MCQ, then I will come to our next MCQ. Now in this MCQ it says, with respect to the information given in para 3, if merger goes through by exchange of equity shares between RPL and JML, the exchange ratio is set according to current market price. Okay, which is the what is the post merger earning of the share of the RPL. Now student, please remember one thing. In this question, a case study, very simple presentation is there because it has been referred. Please refer para 3. It may be possible that in the examination you may not given the case study or questions like in that manner. You may be given straightforward case study and you have to locate yourself in which para our answer is related to. So that is very important to remember. No, don't expect it. They will clearly mention that this is the case study. This is the para you have to mention. Now here, when the exchange ratio is through the current market price, so of course our current market price of the RPL is 75. Okay, and of this is JPL is JML is 60. Okay, there are outstanding number of shares of the JML is 25, 2,50,000. So of course 2 lakh shares will be given to shareholders of the JML of in the share of the share RPL. 2 lakh shares of RPL will be given to the shareholders of the JML. Now after this, once these are share given, already holding of the JML RPL is 10 lakh. Adding to it the share issued to the holders of JML, the total number of shares become 12 lakhs. Okay, now when it becomes 12 lakh, so of course when the companies are merged, the earning of the acquired company will become the company of acquiring company. So since the post tax earning of JML Limited is 1 second. Post tax earning, JML earning is basically 10 crore. Okay, 10 CR, and post tax earning of JML Limited RPL is 10 crore, JML is 3 crore, so it becomes 13 crore overall. So we shall divide 13 crore divided by 12 lakh, the figure will come 108.33 lakh. So it will be the correct answer. So student, my request to you, whenever this type of a question come into the examination, don't try to do it at your own guess or own calculator working only. Just do some working in the rough work as well. Now I am coming to the MCQ 5. Okay, this MCQ 5 is basically based on the para number 5. Now since it is a company and it is doing the export or import, etc. Now this para is context of the export. Now in respect of its Japanese export on 31st March 2024, RPL and export exposure of Japanese yen 10 lakh receivable. Japanese yen is not directly quoted against the Indian rupee. So it clearly indicates that we have to use the concept of cross rate. Okay, 1 second. No, sorry, my mistake. our MCQ 5th is related not to this para 5, it is related to our, one second, it is related to para number 6. Okay. Now in the para number 6, it says that there is first part is relating to your tax portion. Now after this says that after the issue of the such debenture, the company has total debt of rupees 3 crore and surplus fund of the to the tune of 5 crore. Whether it has made a gross profit of rupees 18 crore and incurred indirect expenses of 4 crore for the financial year. So in the 5th MCQ, we have to compute the basically we can say equity value of RPL. Okay, for this there is a topic of business valuation. Okay, you can refer the same from the study material, and since you are carrying the study material in the examination, you have to cram any formula, etc. Of course, reference material is with you, you can easily attempt the answer. So here we see how we arrived at this figure. When we have to calculate the EBITDA, that is earning before interest, tax, tax depreciation and amortization, what we do, we simply from the gross profit of, it was our gross profit is 18 crore. Okay, we deduct indirect expenses of 4 crore. The figure comes 14 crore. Okay, we multiply the same with the 4. Okay, the amount comes here rupee 56 crore. Okay, from this, what we do, we deduct our 3 crore our debt. So the equity value comes 53 crore, and this will be our answer. So student, with this, our 2 MCQs relating to AFM has been solved. Now for the rest of the MCQs, concerned faculty will let you know. If you have any query, please do let me know so that we can proceed further. Okay, thank you.
So students, hope you are enjoying the session, and back to auditing part. And Prashad has written one query that as I am not appearing, 1 second. As I am not appearing for group 1, I find it difficult to track the chapter or topic to find the answer in auditing study material. And any tips for tracking the topic, because each mock test cover 15 to, yeah, definitely auditing is very, very important, and there'll be 15 to 20 marks weightage, of course. So Prashad, what you can do now, you just take a glance of syllabus and the chapters we have covered according to syllabus. So you will be able to identify further auditing standards you have already gone through very carefully. At intermediate level also you have studied the same. So you can see that first to 11 chapters are basically auditing standard based, engagement and quality control standard based. And this time in advanced auditing assurance and professional ethics, we have added SA 800 series, then SAE, SRE and SRS. So accordingly, 4 new chapters are being inserted. But since you are having open book, so you can simply just by having a glance, and you can use the Saransh booklet for all the engagement and quality control standard. You'll be having basic idea, right, Prashant? And for regarding other chapters like bank or NBFC, digital auditing and assurance, then our ESG, professional ethics, those topics you can simply identify by reading the question. So in that particular MCQ, it was relating to prospective financial statements. So that is a specific chapter. So if you have just a glance of study material, then you'll be able to understand. But definitely you need to practice, right? Then only you'll be able to understand what is the requirement of question. You will be relate it with relevant topic and answer. So now in case study 2, we have discussed MCQ as well as descriptive part. So in case if you find just to tell you about the presentation manner of descriptive questions also. So now we are planning to take, since we are having very less time, so we are planning to take MCQ part only. So in case study 3, MCQ number 2 and 3 is pertaining to auditing subject, right? So I'm covering MCQ number 2 and 3, and MCQ number 2 is with respect to information given in para 3. and you all have read the para 3. Ashish sir has already explained you about this para 3, that certain adjustments would be required to be made to account for the change in the shareholding of JML. So I am not reading para 3 again because Ashish sir has already explained you para 3. So this question is dealing with para 3, and so you need to tell which of the adjustment it will be, means whether it is memorandum adjustment. You try to understand, this question is talking about change in shareholding pattern, right? So when we are talking about change in shareholding, whether it will be considered as memorandum adjustment or current period consolidation adjustment or permanent consolidation adjustment or temporary period consolidation adjustment. So I think you all are aware. If you find any difficulty, you can let me know, because it is change in shareholding. So it will be considered as permanent only. Every time, whenever there is a change in shareholding pattern, it will be considered as permanent consolidation adjustment only. It will never be part of current period consolidation, because shareholding will be considered as permanent part only, right? So in this question, I have not taken much time, and now moving towards MCQ number 3. With respect to information given in para 4, guide CA Devanshi on the audit opinion, considering the fact that the last year's misstatement pertaining to export revenue has been identified in the current year and unmodified opinion was issued in the last year. So we can refer para 4 for that. That in para 4, it is specifically given that during the course of audit of RPL is the company and CA Devanshi is the auditor. So CA Devanshi is verifying export revenue of the company for the year 23-24 with her engagement team. Definitely, she need to verify. She has verified transactions entered in export sales account maintained in the accounting software from relevant export invoices, right? So she is doing right job. The export sales are being made on payment of IGST, for which a refund is automatically credited in the account of the company after the goods are shipped. So this is talking about procedure. But now main crux is here that on inquiring from internal audit staff regarding the recognition of export revenue, she is told that export sales are recognized for the year on the basis of bills of lading. However, she is not convinced with such a response and feels that the same does not appear to be proper. So she finds that 4 export invoices bearing dates in the month of March 24 having a total value of 125. You see, 125 lakhs is a significant amount, right? Have not been recognized in export revenue on the ground. That bills of lading of these invoices were issued in the month of April 24. So here you see that this is a significant amount and these invoices were issued in the month of April. So these were not recognized in export revenue. That is not correct. So further, during audit of current year, CA Devanshi had identified that there was a misstatement. So she identified misstatement also in last year pertaining to export revenue of the company, and the same is still not corrected. She had issued unmodified audit report in last year. So here we can see the reference of SA 710, which deals about comparative and corresponding figures, right? And when we analyze the situation with SA 710, we need to see whether whether that misstatement was corrected in the current year or not. So we need to interlink it with the corresponding figure as well, right? For current period financial statement and corresponding figure as well. So though she had issued unmodified audit report, but still, if the same is not corrected, how she should deal with the situation, and that is the specifically requirement of the question, that with respect to information given in para 4, you need to guide Devanshi on the audit opinion, considering the fact that how she should deal with the last year's misstatement, which is pertaining to export revenue and identified in the current year, and though last year unmodified opinion was issued, right? So option A is CA Devanshi should give unmodified opinion, but include other matters. Whether it is correct that she give unmodified, but it's not corrected. Still it's not corrected. So status is again that there is misstatement appearing in the financial statement. So she should not give unmodified opinion. She should seek legal opinion. No. CA Devanshi should express a qualified opinion or adverse opinion in auditor's report of current. So you see, unmodified opinion is eliminated. Option A is eliminated. Option D is eliminated because unmodified opinion, again, it's discussed over here. So only correct answer is option C, that CA Devanshi should express a qualified opinion or adverse opinion in auditor's report of current period financial statements modified with respect to corresponding figures included therein, right? So this way we can solve the answers. They are Prashant. If you have not studied, then you can use either you can apply your knowledge directly or you can use elimination method, and accordingly you can write the answer. Okay, with this I have concluded auditing part, and I'm handing over to Dimple madam for direct text. Still, if you have any query, we'll be happy to tell you. Yes, Ayushi, your answer is correct. Option C is correct option. With this, thank you very much.
Yes, student. Now just move to the fourth MCQ. First, we need to see the MCQ related to which provision and related to which part of the case study. So, what is the requirement of the question with respect to the information given in para 6? As in this question, it is already mentioned that the information is given in para 6. Otherwise, that you have to just read whole the case study, you have to go through whole the case study, and you have to see from which paragraph or from which information you have to take the relevant information. So now it is given in the question, so it will just save your time actually. Comment upon the validity of the action of the AO on rejecting the deduction of interest on loan claimed by RPL. So for that, we have to see the facts. What are the facts? As you see in para 6, on 31st March 2024, RPL has an outstanding interest liability of rupees 1 crore towards loan payable to BFCI Limited. It means there is an outstanding interest liability of 1 crore towards loan payable to BFCL, a public financial institution. On the same date, the RPL had issued debenture to BFCL in lieu of outstanding interest and deducted the said interest while computing PGBP income. What the AO did? AO rejected the deduction of interest on loan claimed by the RPL. So, what is the requirement of the question? Whatever the AO had did by rejecting the deduction, whether the AO has done right or not, this is the requirement of the question. Okay, students. So firstly, we have to analyze the provision. So what provision is applicable here in this case? It's section 43B. What section 43B says? Yes, Ayushi said AO action is valid, but Ayushi, your answer is right. But since it's the MCQ option, you have all the options and you can see which option is correct. But if suppose this question comes in as a descriptive form, so you have to write all the section, all the reasoning, all the explanation. So we are just trying to see why the AO action is correct in this case. As per section 43B, a certain expenditure is allowed as deduction only and only if they are on actual payment basis. What does it mean? If you have followed mercantile system of accounting, then your expenditures are allowed on the due basis. But there are certain expenditure which is mentioned under section 43B that would be allowed only on actual payment basis. It means you have if actually paid for that expenditure, then only it will be allowed. So till which date you can pay the expenditure? You can pay the expenditure, you can pay for the expenditure till the date of your due date for filing of return of income. If you have paid for the expenditure till that date, then it will be allowed as deduction in the previous year for which it relates. Otherwise, what will happen? It will be allowed as deduction in the previous year in which it is actually paid. But in our case study, what the company had did, company had an outstanding interest of 1 crore. Instead of paying, this interest is from whom? From a public financial institution. It means 43B is very much applicable on this interest part. Company, instead of paying the interest, they have issued the debenture. And they have deducted the said interest from this their books of accounts. So we have to see whether it is allowed. If you convert your interest in a debenture, whether that tantamounts to your actual payment and would be allowed as deduction or not, we have to analyze that. In the explanation to section 43B, it clearly says if the interest which is required to be payable or mentioned under section 43B, if it is converted into a loan, borrowing, debenture, or any other deferred to a future liability, then it would not be deemed as actual payment and would not be allowed as deduction. So Ayushik is right. As per section 43B, this interest portion would not be allowed. So we have to see the option because we have to take the correct option. I'm just read the B, C, D and B, C and D first. Then I will just move to A. B says the interest so converted into debenture shall be deemed as actual payment. No, we have already seen that this conversion will not be deemed as actual payment and would not be allowed as a deduction. Second part is correct, but that would not be deemed as actual payment. So this option is incorrect. The interest so converted into debenture shall be deemed as actual payment and hence would be allowed as deduction while computing income from other sources. First of all, it is not deemed as actual payment. Second, if deduction is allowed or not, it is not under income from other sources. So this option is also incorrect. The interest so converted into debenture shall be deemed as actual payment as in given in the case loan is provided by a public financial institution and hence would be allowed as deduction while computing PGBP income. The interest so converted shall be deemed as actual payment. No, that would not be deemed as actual payment. Now move to the first A option. The interest so converted into debenture and not actually paid shall not be deemed as actually payment and would not be allowed as deduction. So the action of AO is correct. Okay, but in the MCQ portion, students read all the four options very carefully. Don't do that. If you see the A option and it seems to write to you, just ignore the B, C and D. Maybe it happened, you have to take the most appropriate answer. It may happen that first answer is right in your point of view and you forget, you don't read the another option that is more right from the first part. So it is better to read all the four options and then choose the correct option. So in this case, A is the correct option. So if you have any doubt, students, in the case study, in the case study which we have taken, so you can ask your doubt. Till date, student, if you have any doubt, so just let me know. Otherwise, we just move to the case study number 4. So I hope everything is clear in this case study. So I'm just handing over this to Shefali ma'am for GST portion.
Thank you, Dimple. Yes. So first MCQ is with regard to the customs portion of the indirect tax laws. And it provides that with reference to information given in para B, in case of MTL, the amount of cost of insurance would be determined as there are 4 options which are available. And then out of these 4 options, the combination of options which are correct is given afterwards. In fact, just now Dimple told you that when you are attempting MCQs, you should pay attention to all the options. You should once read all the options because maybe possible you are thinking that only one option which you have marked as correct is correct. There could be multi-correct options also. Or there could be a point that the reasoning for the correct option has been given properly in some other option. So most appropriate option you have to mark as the correct option. Now in this case, let's go to para B quickly because we'll try to take as many MCQs as possible. We'll take this one quickly. In para B, this is the relevant information for this particular MCQ, which says further the cost of insurance. Now, MTL has imported a consignment of coffee beans from Brazil And with regard to that, some information is given that he has warehoused these coffee beans, and then when he filed the bill of entry for inward into bond bill of entry, then ex bond bill of entry, the timing of filing the two has been given to you. But for this MCQ, what information is relevant with regard to this import is the cost of insurance was not ascertainable from the documents submitted before custom authorities by Mr. Deval on behalf of the MTL, relevant for determining the CIF price. So in CIF, you need to include insurance as well as freight, but the insurance cost cannot be ascertained from the documents. Now, with regard to that, the MCQ asks you that how can he determine the cost of insurance, or what would be the amount, the cost of insurance which we'll take while computing the assessable value in case the cost of insurance cannot be determined from the information or from the documents which are there with the MTL. The option given to you is 20% of the FOB value or 1.125%. In fact, this MCQ requires the clear application of Rule 2 of the Customs Valuations Rules 2007. This is 1.25% of the FOB value in case the FOB value is available. But in case the FOB value is also not ascertainable, then the sum of free on board, that is FOB value plus the cost of transport, handling, the loading, unloading, that has to up to the place of importation will be taken together, and we'll take 1.125% of the said sum. And the fourth option says that in case this value is not ascertainable, FOB value is not ascertainable, and we take a sum of FOB value plus cost of handling, transport, loading, unloading, then we have to take 20%. So I think most of you must be aware that the percentage of insurance is 1.125%, which we have to take. In case FOB value is available, then we'll take the FOB value into 1.125%. In case FOB value is not available, then the sum of FOB value and the cost of handling, loading, unloading, and transportation charges together has to be taken, and of that value we'll take 1.125%. So that means option 2 and option 3 are correct. And out of the 4 options which are provided to us, 1 or 3, 1 or 4, 2 and 3, and option D, 2 and 4. So this makes option C as the correct option, because you see 1.125% is the actual percentage, and this makes option C as the correct option. Now, let's move to the question which pertains to law, for which we have Shraddha with us. Shraddha has joined. Yes, Shraddha, please take the next MCQ which pertains to law and explain.
A very good afternoon, dear students. So, MCQ number 2, request Deepak sir to kindly navigate through the MCQ. We'll just explain. Yes, sir. Thank you. So, once we are looking at this MCQ, we can see that it says, just a moment. Yeah. With reference to information given in para C, to hold such a position. So, if we have, it's saying to hold such a position. So what position they are talking about? What is the nominal value of shares which Mr. Tapan is required to hold? So let's go to page number 16, which contains para C. Okay. So it says that para C says on page 16, shareholding base of the company is quite wide, and therefore the number of small shareholders. So such shareholders here means that we are talking about something related to small shareholders having stake in the company. It so happened that some of them wish to appoint this Mr. Tapan Dubey, who is a finance manager. Okay, and they want to appoint him as a small shareholders director on the board of the company. And they are saying that after the due process, Mr. Tapan was also appointed. Now let's go back to our MCQ, which is on page number 17. I hope you can see it. They are saying that Mr. Tapan has been appointed as a small shareholders director. And then the question is asking that what is the nominal value of the shares which Mr. Tapan is required to hold? Now, if I see section 151 of the Companies Act 2013, provides that listed company may have one or more director elected by the small shareholders, and this provision, it's for it's enabling provision so that small shareholders can have a representative of their own on the board of the listed companies. Now, the main point is, while we are reading the question, we can see that provision options that have been provided. They are saying he is required to own shares of the nominal value of rupees 20,000 in the company prior to his appointment. Now the next is also saying that 10,000, 5,000, and the D is saying that he is not required to hold any nominal value in the shares. The point of confusion can arise in the minds of the student. That if we see who is a small shareholder, we know a small shareholder is a shareholder holding shares of nominal value of not more than 20,000 or some other sum as may be prescribed. So the point of confusion here is that is he required, the small shareholder director, is he required to hold a nominal value of minimum 20,000? Students can get confused here. But if we read it further, we will see that the provisions provided that they have to, the small shareholders have to provide a notice for the appointment of a small shareholder director. A line in this provides that if the person who is being proposed does not hold any shares in the company, the details of shares held and folio number need not be specified in the notice. So it's a combination of two things. You need not get confused with the point that who is a small shareholder. Small shareholder is a person who cannot hold more than 20,000 worth value of shares. But a person who is to be appointed as a small shareholder director, for him, it is not mandatory to hold any nominal value shares prior to this appointment in the company. So in this case, though option A, prima facie, seems to be the correct answer, but the correct answer is option B, which is he is not required to own shares of any nominal value in the company prior to his appointment as small shareholder director. I hope this is clear. Now, let's take one more question which is in respect to the paper of law, which is your MCQ number 5. Okay, so this MCQ number 5, students, we have been saying that you can refer your study material or whatever notes you are taking. If you see, MCQ number 2 was dealing with section 151, which is contained in chapter 1 of setting. But if we see this MCQ number 5, where can we find it? So that means we should be very thorough with our study material. This you can find is in chapter number 10. Okay. Though this is also with reference to, if we read the question, it says with reference to information as given in para C, which we just read. MTL is required to file financial statements to XBRL as dash, and XBRL stands for what? These two things. For this, we have to navigate. If you don't know the exact answer and you want to look for the answer, you need to navigate to chapter 10 of the study material. Okay. So if we go back to our page number 16, where we are dealing with para number C. Okay, so it says, we have already, the para number 2 tells us, MTL is an Ind AS compliant company. It has a paid up capital of rupees 50 crore and turnover of rupees 500 crore. They have provided certain other informations also, but right now, since looking at the need of the hour, we are just restricting to the relevant information. So they have given us two things. First of all, it has a paid up capital of 50 crore. It's an Ind AS compliant company and turnover of rupees 500 crore. Okay, so we need to now look for the answer which is imbibed in Rule 3. Okay, first, what is the full form of this XPRL? That is in Rule 2(1)(d) of the company's filing of documents, forms, and extensible business reporting language. So that tells that what is XPRL. Then, for your whether it is applicable on these companies or not, we have to look for Rule 3(1) of the company's filing of documents and forms in extensible business reporting language rules, which is in chapter 10. Both these things are covered in e-filing chapter. So there they have provided the companies which have to comply with the XBRL in e-form AOC 4 as per Annexure 1. In one of these, they have provided listed with a stock exchange and their Indian subsidiaries. Then companies having paid up capital of 5 crore or above, companies having turnover of 100 crore or above, or all of the companies which are required to prepare their financial statements in accordance with companies' theirs. If we see the line said that this MTL, first of all, is a listed company, we know that. It's an Ind AS compliant company, this also we know. And then we also know that it has a paid up capital of rupees 50 crore and turnover of rupees 500 crores. So once we see all these situations and we see the options that have been provided to us, we can see that is option D correct? The answer is no. Is option B correct? No. Is option C correct? See, you can think about those options also because all of the options seem to be very similar to each other. But the correct option is A, because its paid up capital and turnover exceeds the prescribed limit. And we know that it is a listed company, it is an Ind AS compliant company, and they have given the correct line for XBRL, which is extensible and not extension business reporting language. If you see option B, it says extension. Option D, it says XBRL stands for extension. So B and D automatically gets out of it. Now we were left with option A and C. I have already told you that option A is correct, but students still can get confused between option A and C. We have to see that it says, option C says its paid up capital exceeds. But if we look at the Rule 3, then we says paid up, we can gauge that both paid up capital and turnover exceeds. So though option C was not entirely wrong, but as Dimple ma'am also said, we have to choose the best option, as option A fulfills all of the conditions. So we are saying that option A is the correct answer. Hope students this is clear to you. If you have any doubt, please let us know. I hope it's clear, so then we can move to the next part. Thank you.
Thank you, Shraddha, for giving insight on MCQ 2 and 5. Now, students, let's move to our MCQ 3 and 4. So we are in para C only. See, if we go through MCQ 3 and 4, it talks about with reference to information given in para C. And this MCQ 4 also talks about with reference to information given in para C. So let's move on to para C again and see what is the entire information given in para C, so that we will be able to answer these two MCQs. So if we move to para C says, I'm leaving first paragraph because that was related to law and we have already exceeded our time. So I'll be just coming directly to what is relevant for your MCQ 3 and 4. MTL is an Ind AS compliant company. It has a paid up capital of 50 crores and turnover of rupees 500 crores. It presents financial results of for 3 years. That is one for current year and 2 comparative years internally for the purpose of management. So this presentation of 2 comparative years is only for the purpose of management information every year in addition to the general purpose financial statement. So what comes under general purpose financial statement, students? Under general purpose financial statements, you are required to provide the information for current year as well as the previous year as one comparative year. It is not 2 comparative year. However, they are giving these information for the purpose of management information, and that's why they are giving comparatives of previous 2 years. The aforesaid financial results are presented without furnishing the related notes because these are not required by the management for internal purposes. During the current year, so they are giving to management without furnishing the related notes. During the current year, management thought why not they should present third year statement of profit and loss also in the general purpose financial statements. It will save time and it will be available easily whenever management needs this in future. So they are saying because in addition to general purpose financial statement, they were supposed to give 3 more additional information to management. However, they want one document to be prepared which is relevant both as a general purpose financial statement and also for management. So they are planning to include all the information in one financial statement and term is as general purpose financial statement. So now we have to see. It will save time and it will available easily whenever management needs this in future. MTL is required to file its financial statements through XBRL, which enables procedures, and this is related to law portion. So we are not moving to this. However, I'm looking for these 2 paragraphs mainly, which talks about, which gives the information relevant for your MCQ 3 and 4. So we came to know management is interested to add one more comparative year in general purpose financial statements without notes. That's what the entity was giving to, MTL was giving for its management. Now let's see what does your MCQ 3 says. MCQ 3 talks about, with reference to information given in para C, can management of MTL present a third statement of profit and loss as an additional comparative in the general purpose financial statements? So first question is, can we prepare it? Yes, we can do that. Why? Because para 38C, we are here, see, general purpose financial statements. When we talk about general purpose financial statement, which standard comes to your mind? Students, I want answer from you all. Which standards comes to your mind? See, in your examination, you're not supposed to write the para numbers, but yes, it will always give you an edge if you write standard name and number. The title of the standard as well as the number, that will definitely give you the edge. That's why I'm asking you which standard comes to your mind when we are talking about this MCQ. This is important. Huh? Okay, students, the standard which is relevant for this particular MCQ is Ind AS 1, because Ind AS 1 talks about presentation of financial statements. And here in this question, MTL wants to know whether they can present one more comparative year information in your general purpose financial statement. So Ind AS 1 comes into the picture for answering this MCQ 3. So as per Ind AS 1, para 38C. Para 38C, please note down this para. This para number is only for your reference so that you can go to this particular Ind AS 1 and cross-check what is given in para 38C, but you are not supposed to quote this para number in your examination. However, for MCQs, you are not supposed to give any reasoning also, but in case in future, some question, a descriptive question comes where you feel that you have to give the para number of Ind AS, so it is not required. But yes, for reference, I am mentioning para 38C of Ind AS 1 states that an entity may, para 38C is basically for additional information. What kind of additional information can be presented by the preparers of the financial statements? So para 38C says an entity may present comparative information in addition to the minimum comparative financial statements required by Ind AS, as long as that information is prepared in accordance with Ind AS
This comparative information may consist of one or more statements referred to in paragraph 10, but need not comprise a complete set of financial statement. What does complete set of financial statement means? Complete set of financial statement includes balance sheet, includes your statement of profit and loss, includes cash flow statements, includes your notes, includes your explanatory notes and disclosure, accounting policy disclosures. Okay. So these, when all comes into one picture, they becomes a set of complete set of financial statements. So they are saying you can provide additional information as per para 38C. You can provide additional information, but that additional information cannot constitute a complete set of financial statement. Okay. So you can provide additional comparative information also as per this para 38C. When this is the case, the entity shall present related note information for those financials, those additional statements. So what does this say? If you are presenting any additional statement, you can do so, but with that, you have to also provide related notes to accounts also for explaining the figures which is there in that additional comparative information or additional information. So based on that, now we'll see what is answered, what is given in this MCQ 3. With reference to information given in para C, can a management of MTL present a third statement of profit and loss as an additional comparative in the general purpose financial statement? So yes, we can do, because we are only providing one of the component of financial statements, not the whole set. So statement of profit and loss is one of the component of financial statement. So they can provide it too. So yes, your answer is yes. So when we are saying yes, so this, your option C has been ruled out. Okay, now we have option A, B, and C which says yes. So now figure out which option out of A, B, and D we have to tick as a correct option or best appropriate answer. So yeah, first option A says yes, an entity may present comparative information in addition to the minimum comparative financial statements, as long as that information is prepared in accordance with Ind AS. That was mentioned. Yes, you have to prepare your any statement, any additional information which you are providing, that should be in compliance with Ind AS. However, the entity shall present related note information for those additional statements that we have already talked, that we have to also present related note information for those additional statements. For your comparative statement of previous year as well as for the current year, you are already providing notes to accounts in your general purpose financial statements. But for additional information or additional any whatever finance component of financial statement you are providing, you have to also provide additional notes with related to that additional information. Okay. Now option B is saying it appears, option A appears to be correct. So now let's move on to option B. Yes, but an entity shall present comparative information as at the beginning of the preceding period in addition to the minimum comparative financial statements. No, it is not correct. Why? Because they are saying, but an entity shall present comparative information as at the beginning of the preceding period. It is not necessary that you have to prepare for the beginning of the period. What is prepared at the beginning of the preceding period? When it is mentioned that we have to prepare a statement at the beginning of the preceding period, it is only your balance sheet, because balance sheet is for a particular date. However, you have to prepare, you here in this question, you are asked to prepare additional profit and loss statement. So statement of profit and loss is not for a particular date, it is for a whole year. So this statement goes wrong here because they are talking about particular period, particular date, beginning of the preceding period. So this is also not ruled out, not correct. Okay. Now we move on to option D. Option D says yes, an entity may present comparative information in addition to the minimum comparative financial statements required by Ind AS, as long as that information is prepared in accordance with Ind AS. Till here it is okay. That is as per the information. The entity does not need to present related note information. So this is why this option becomes incorrect, because you are supposed to give the related information. So correct option comes to option A. So there are two ways to do it. One is that you directly come to the, when you read the option, you come to know, yes, this is correct. When there are three closely related options, you have to rule out which is wrong and why it is wrong. So with respect to your does not need to present related note, this makes this option wrong. In the second, in option B, because they are talking about the beginning of the preceding period, they are not talking about the statement of profit and loss for the whole period, any additional information as an additional information. That's why option B is also incorrect. Now let's move on to MCQ 4. With reference to information given in para C, can management of MTL present such third statement of profit and loss only as an additional comparative in the general purpose financial statements without furnishing other components like balance sheet, statement of cash flow, statement of change in equity, and of financial statements. So when I was reading to you para 38C of Ind AS 1, it was also mentioning you can prepare additional information, you can present additional information in addition to what is necessary, but that additional information does not constitute a complete set of financial statement. However, they are talking about key. Can management of MTL present such third statement as additional comparative without furnishing additional components? Yes, you have to. It is not that you have to present complete set of financial statement. You can do it without furnishing. In fact, your standard prohibits you not to present the complete set of financial statement as an additional information. So yes, this you have to do it. You have to do it without furnishing other components. So answer is yes. It appears answer is yes, but we have to see what is to be given. Okay, your question is with reference to information given in para C, and can in management of MTL present such third statement of profit and loss only as additional comparative in the general purpose financial statement without furnishing other components? So answer is yes. So we have to there here, yeah, option is very obvious because option A, C, and D talks about no. But our answer is yes, we can do this as we have read para 38C of Ind AS 1. So your option is very clear that it is yes. Still, for your understanding, we'll go through option A, C, and D also to understand why it is incorrect. No, apne aap mein is telling that it is incorrect, but still let's move on to the whole sentence. No, in such case, a complete set of financial statements need to be presented with respect to such third. Since they are talking about we have to present a complete set, it is not mentioned they are restricting you not to provide complete set of financial statements. That's why this option goes wrong. Option C, no, an entity cannot present only such comparative information at the first place in addition to the minimum comparative financial statements required by Ind AS. So the question of furnishing other components does not arise at all. So they are saying कि आप additional ही नहीं provide कर सकते. So it is not correct. The additional information you can provide, but you cannot provide the whole set. So this information, because they are saying you cannot provide anything, so this is also wrong. Option D, no, in such case, a complete set of financial statement need to be presented with respect to such third statement of profit and loss in addition to the minimum comparative financial statements required by Ind AS. As long as that information is prepared in accordance with Ind AS. However, the entity may present related note information only for such third statement of P&L. See, they are again saying that you can prepare complete set, but additional notes are related only to statement of P&L. But it is not like that. So this statement also goes wrong because you have to provide, you cannot provide complete set of financial statements. So students, I hope by this we are clear that option B is correct for your MCQ 4 also. So students, in case you have any other query, you may please ask. Otherwise, we'll wind up the session. We have already exceeded 20 minutes for this session. Okay, students, hope you have been benefited with the session and you'll use this because your exam is nearby, and all the best for your coming examinations, and be calm and be confident. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, students. Yes.
Yes.